Most men don't lose a woman because they said the wrong thing. They lose her because their touch felt uncertain, not wrong, not inappropriate, just unsure. And a mature woman can feel that instantly. When you reach for her hand like you're asking a question, when you place your arm around her as if you're waiting for approval, when your fingers touch her back but hesitate halfway, she doesn't register the contact itself. She registers the doubt behind it. And the moment she feels hesitation, something inside her closes. Not dramatically, not visibly, but quietly. The part of her that was beginning to soften pauses, hears. What most men never understand. A mature woman does not fall for your resume. She does not fall for your job title, your appearance, or even your charm. She falls for how she feels in her own body when she's near you. And that feeling begins with touch. Not aggressive touch, not strategic touch, but grounded, present, emotionally clean touch. Before we go deeper, let's make something clear. This is not about pushing boundaries. It is not about dominance in a loud or forceful way. In fact, that energy repels emotionally intelligent women. What truly works is rooted in psychology, in attachment, in nervous system regulation, in presence. Touch is not an action, it is a conversation. And if your touch says, "I'm nervous," or "I need something from you," she will withdraw, even if she was attracted 5 minutes earlier. But if your touch says, "I'm here, I'm grounded, I don't need anything from this moment," something entirely different happens. Her body relaxes. And relaxation is where attraction lives. There are 3 psychological triggers that make touch powerful. The first is certainty without agenda. A woman who has lived and loved has been touched by men who were unsure. Men who placed a hand on her but watched her reaction nervously. Men whose touch felt like a test instead of a statement. Uncertainty does not create safety. And without safety, desire cannot grow. Certainty is not arrogance. It is calm decisiveness. When you place your hand on her lower back while guiding her through a doorway, you do it fully. Not with fingertips hovering. Not with hesitation. A grounded palm. To seconds. 3 seconds. It says, without words, "I'm aware of you. I've got you." That kind of touch is protective without being possessive. It is steady, and steady men feel safe. The second trigger is escalation through stillness. Most men believe escalation means doing more, moving faster, touching more areas, climbing some invisible ladder. But depth creates more impact than movement. When you hold her hand, don't grip and release. Hold it. Feel her fingers. Let your thumb move slowly in small circles across the back of her hand. Stay. Stillness allows her nervous system to register you. Quick, scattered touches disappear before they land. But when you remain present, she becomes aware of you emotionally, not just physically. Stillness communicates comfort. It says, "I'm not rushing. I'm not performing." And when you slow down, she leans in. The third trigger is emotion without hidden intention. A boy touches because he wants something, validation, approval, a reaction. A man touches because he feels something. That difference is subtle, but powerful. When you gently place your hand on her shoulder while she's telling you something meaningful, and you look at her, not distracted, not scanning the room, just there, she feels seen. When she's overwhelmed and you lightly touch her temple or forehead for a brief moment, it says, "You don't have to carry everything alone." That touch builds emotional safety, and emotional safety builds desire. Now let's talk about specific touches that create connection instead of confusion. The grounded lower back touch while walking beside her. Full palm. No rush. It communicates. Leadership without force. The intentional handhold with slow thumb movement. It creates intimacy in silence. The anchored shoulder hold during conversation. It says, "I'm listening." The gentle two-hand face hold during a charged moment. When tension hangs in the air, and you cup her face slowly, look into her eyes, and say nothing for a second. That moment stops time. It requires vulnerability, and that's why most men avoid it. But presence at that level is magnetic. Then there's the slow waist pull when standing face to face. Not sudden, not aggressive, just a deliberate closing of distance. It says, "I want you closer." And finally, the goodbye linger. When you hug her, don't rush. Let the embrace last just a seconds longer than expected. Let your hand rest at the small of her back, and as you release, allow your hand to trail gently down her arm before stepping away. That creates what psychologists call a separation imprint. Her body notices the absence before you're gone, and she thinks about it later. But here is the most important truth. None of these touches work if they are mechanical. If you perform them like steps in a guide, she will feel the emptiness. If you use them to manipulate, she will sense the agenda. They only work when they come from genuine presence. Touch her because you are present in the moment, because you feel something, because your nervous system is calm. When your touch carries emotional honesty, her walls lower naturally. Not because you forced them down, but because she chooses to. A mature woman doesn't fall in love with what you say. She falls in love with who you are when you're with her, and touches how she feels that truth. So slow down, be certain, be emotionally clean. Touch her like a man who is at peace with himself, not chasing a reaction, not seeking approval, just grounded in the moment he's standing in. Because attraction is not created by trying harder. It is created by being fully present. And when you understand that, everything changes.